Ah, college humor. You have made a complete mockery of the Bible, and I'm going to address it. I'm going to do a better job than Tecton TV. A much better job. Here we go. This is really intelligent here. You have put a video up that shows your intense hatred for women. You say, oh, we're not showing our intense hatred of women. Oh, yes, you are. Because, let me tell you something. When you talk about that time of the month, back in those days, they didn't have the personal hygiene they have today. Not to mention the fact that women are more vulnerable at that time of the month than any other time of the month. So now, you're advocating sexual cruelty. On top of that, you're invoking lack of personal hygiene. Real smart one right there. And how about the men lying with men? Well, let me tell you something. Back then, you invoked a curse upon yourself when you didn't have children. And the way that worked was that women didn't have rights. So they had to rely on the men to hold on to the lands and that kind of thing. This is stuff you didn't put any of this in your little video here. Let me tell you something. If a woman at that time didn't have a kid, she lost everything. So it literally became a curse upon themselves. Now, in modern day, it goes something like this. If you don't have children when you can have children, there are a lot of people that can't have children, but I'm talking about the ones who can. If you can have children and you don't have children, there's a possibility you're invoking a curse upon yourself. And that curse is you don't have anybody that's a member of your family now taking care of you in your old age. So you can actually bring a curse upon yourself. Now, I know there are people in this world that can't have children, and they have to be specially taken care of. But if you're a perfectly fit and healthy and happy person, and you're financially stable in the whole 9 yards, and you're just trying to show God by not having kids, you're potentially bringing a curse upon yourself, because then nobody takes care of you in your old age. There you go. Oh, and the fish thing. Let me tell you something. Back then, they didn't have the cooking methods that they do today. And even today, you can still get major digestive disorders from shellfish. It was God's way of keeping you from getting massively ill when you didn't have to. Okay? And then, you made fun of all of these wonderful Bible book names. Yeah, so you have made fun of a lot of Jewish names. These were Jewish people that lived back at that time. You made fun of their names. Sure, they appreciate that. And they're up there watching you, so trust me, they're not appreciating this at all. And then you made fun of the group of Levites. Okay, Leviticus means Levite. Okay? And so you have made fun of an entire group of men that served in the Jewish temple. I'm sure God's thrilled about that one. And how about Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy literally means a second renditioning of the Torah, or the Mosaic Law, or what you would call the Law of Moses. And you made fun of it. I'm sure God's thrilled about that too. Now, if I were you, I'd take this video down and I'd make an apology video for insulting Jewish men, for insulting groups of Jewish people, for advocating cruelty to women, and for encouraging people to eat foods that's going to make them sick. But hey, you don't want to do something like that, that's your problem. But I'll tell you what happened to another group of kids like you way back when. This goes back to 2 Kings chapter 2, if you want to read it. Yeah, there was a group of kids that insulted Elisha. Now, who was Elisha? He was the understudy of Elijah. Okay? And they were insulting him because he had, it looks to me like what he has done is he went and shaved his head as a pact with God. Okay? When it was a Jewish custom that if you made a pact with God, you shaved your head to show that you made a pact with God. Okay? Now, these kids were making fun of this. So Elisha says, hey, Lord, they're making fun of our pact. Well, God was like, really? Let's see how much fun they have when a couple of bears come after them. So God sent a couple of bears, and all these kids got mauled by a couple of bears. I guarantee you nobody was making fun of Elisha after that. But hey, if you want to tangle with a God that can do stuff like that, you go right ahead. That's your problem. But woe to you who makes fun of God and His Bible. Let's see you eat that. Alright. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.